Do you know EUROKEGEL? No? Then stay tuned, we would like to explain it to you. Nico, EUROKEGEL is a new billiards discipline, but who has developed this?
The development of EUROKEGEL began about 2 years ago in Brandenburg, Germany. Besides the European Championship of the CEB, sports friends from Hungary, Denmark and me had a meeting. It was our aim to develop a kind of billiard game that we can play together in all countries.
Pin billiard is nothing new. What is new about EUROKEGEL?
As I said before, it was important for us that we find a kind of game that really has the same rules in all countries. First, of course, the European countries. We want to ensure that international pin billiard tournaments on small tables can be made. There are already international tournaments on big tables, but not on small tables as we can see them here, and which are also very common in Europe.
Let's talk about the rules. EUROKEGEL is played on pocketless tournament tables sized 210 to 105 centimeters. Is this rather a single or team game?
EUROKEGEL can be played as both as a single competition, as we can see it here, but as a team competition as well. At a single competition, 2 players directly play against each other. At a team competition, 2 teams play against each other, and 1 team consists of 2 players. Altogether, they play 4 single and 1 double match.
You are playing with carom balls. Which size do they have?
The carom balls used here have a diameter of 61.5 millimeters.
Now, I see that they have spots on the side, at least the white and the yellow ball. What are they for?
The spots are not compulsory, but they point out the rotation of the ball when the player hits it laterally. That's very important to see in this game.
Talk about the game itself. A match is usually played in several sets. Is it the same at EUROKEGEL?
It's in the same way at EUROKEGEL. Frequently you play best of 3 or best of 5. So best of 3 means you need 2 sets to win, and 1 set is usually played up to 100 points. Whoever has reached 100 points first wins the first set, then the second set starts. The match lasts as long as one player has won 2 sets.
How does the match start?
The match begins with the so-called cushion draw. The winner of this cushion draw is the player who places his ball nearest to the cushion. In this case, it's the yellow ball.
And what's happening now?
Now the balls are placed in the initial position. This position is fixed, so each match and each set starts this way. The cue ball, here it's white, has to be positioned on the spot next to the red ball. The players play with the same ball during the entire match.
Two pins have fallen now. What is the score?
The value of the pins are 2 points for the bright pins and 4 points for the brown middle pin. Player white has now made positive points, so he has a second stroke. Even now, the white ball has to be played to the yellow one, which can throw pins.
What happens if I do not throw a pin at the first stroke?
In this case, the player changes, so it's the other player's turn.
Do I always have to play with the same ball?
Yes, the winner of the cushion draw decides if he wants to begin himself or if the other player should begin. The player who begins plays with the white ball, the other one has to play with the yellow one. Player yellow has not hit a ball now, and he has not made any points, so in this case the player changes.
Wow.
That's, how do you say, an all-in?
Yes, that were 12 points.
And 12 points because...
12 points because the bright pins count 2 points and the middle pin, the brown one, counts 4 points.
Not all pins can be replaced now, so what happens?
In this case we have made a quite simple rule, so if a spot is blocked, the pin is placed outwards on the wooden frame.
And how long does it usually take to play one match?
A match with 2 winning sets, that means best of 3, lasts not longer than 45 to 60 minutes. It can be faster as well. There were no pins now, but still points. It's a so-called real carom that also allows the player to get a second stroke. The value of a carom is 4 points.
So it's not just about collecting points, it's also about strategy, am I right?
It is about both, because who has reached 100 points first has won the set. Of course, there is also a great strategic factor, because at the first stroke I would naturally get my points to get a second stroke, and in the second stroke I would like to put the balls as safe as possible, so that the opponent gets a position which is difficult to play.
What happens in such a case when the ball is very close to the cushion?
The ball must be played in this way. It is a little bit more difficult, of course, but there is no rule that you can remove the ball.
How many points have this been?
6 points for the pins and 4 points for the carom, so 10 points.
Also in Summe 10 Punkte.
This was the second stroke. After this, the players always changed. So now the player intended to leave the position as safe as possible, so that the opponent gets a difficult position.
But solvable.
But solvable. This always depends on the refinement of the player. In this case, played really well.
Is there a certain dress code at EUROKEGEL?
There is no prescribed dress code in a way that players have to wear a vest, a fly or something like that. It is played in typical club clothes. Now the object ball was not hit, but pins have been thrown by the cue ball.
So what's happening now?
We have just seen an incorrect stroke, which means that the cue ball did not hit the object ball. So the points will be credited to the opposing player, and the opposing player can start again with the advantage position.
Is someone counting, by the way?
Yes, there is a display panel for each match. This display panel shows how many records were won and which player has how many points. Here you can see it is not possible to play on the red ball directly. This would also be an incorrect stroke, and it means that the player changes and the opposing player can restart with the advantage ball. Now the object ball was not hit, so the opponent can choose between going on playing with this position or using advantage position, which means that all 3 balls have to be put to their starting position.
Who decides about this?
This may be decided by the opposing player himself. If the position is good to play, he can go on, otherwise he can take advantage and put all 3 balls back to their spots. In case of the advantage position, which is the result of an incorrect stroke by the other player, the cue ball, in this case the white one, can be moved. And indeed, he has to be positioned in the back quarter of the billiard table.
Im hinteren Viertel des Billards.
According to sets, it is now 1-1. Can player 2 still win?
He can still win. Currently, he has 88 points. For winning the set and the match, he needs 100 points. So if he reaches 12 points on the next stroke, it's 96 to 100 points, and he wins the set and the match as well.
Let's have a look into the game's future. Does EUROKEGEL have the opportunity to establish itself nationally or internationally?
EUROKEGEL is being played within the last year. The experience we have been able to collect in this period of time show that EUROKEGEL is a very interesting game and also very well accepted. Currently, EUROKEGEL is played in parts of Germany. We had several demonstration tournaments here, so that you can learn and play the discipline. Internationally, EUROKEGEL is played in Hungary, Denmark, Serbia and Romania, where also tournaments are taking place.
Last question. Where can I get more information about EUROKEGEL?
There is, of course, information on our website, or rather our Facebook page. The group is called EUROKEGEL Billiard. You can join the group. In this group, players from all nations are present and post information frequently. Of course, you can also get information from responsibles of the regional or national billiard associations.
Thank you very much for this interesting interview, and to you, good stroke.